The morning begins, just like any other. A quiet sunrise spreads across the horizon. Golden light spills over oceans, mountains, and cities still waking from the night. Birds glide through the early sky. Farmers step into open fields as the first sunlight warms the ground. Above the horizon, our sun climbs slowly into the blue. But today, something is different. At first, it looks like a reflection. A faint glow appears beside the sun. Small, pale, almost invisible in the morning light. People squint upward. Some think it's a camera lens flare. Others assume it's a rare atmospheric illusion, but the glow doesn't disappear. Instead, it grows brighter and brighter until suddenly, unmistakably, a second sun burns in the sky. Two blazing spheres now hang above Earth. Across beaches, deserts, mountain peaks, and city skylines, people stop and stare. Phones rise into the air as millions record the impossible sight. Children point. Crowds gather in streets and parks. Two suns. Two sources of daylight casting twin shadows across the ground. Buildings throw double silhouettes. Trees create overlapping patterns of shade. Even the oceans reflect brilliant points of fire dancing on the waves. At first, the world reacts with social media explodes. Hashtags like #2suns and #secondsun spread across every continent. From Tokyo to New York, from the Sahara Desert to the Arctic ice, the same impossible image fills the sky. But within hours, excitement begins to turn into confusion. Because the second sun isn't fading. It isn't moving like a reflection. It follows its own path across the sky. Astronomers are the first to react. Inside observatories, telescopes swing rapidly toward the mysterious object. Researchers lean closer to their screens. What they see makes the room fall silent. The new object isn't a reflection. It's a star. A real star, burning with nuclear fusion, radiating light and energy just like our own sun. But it wasn't there yesterday. Satellite data begins pouring in. Space agencies scrambled to analyze the numbers, mass estimates, radiation levels, gravitational influence. The data is impossible. Yet, it all agrees. Earth is no longer orbiting a single star. We are now part of a binary star system. Two suns now dominate our sky. News broadcasts interrupt regular programming. Scientists explain the situation with growing urgency. The second sun is smaller than our own, but still incredibly powerful. And most importantly, it is close. Very close. Too close. As the day continues, the first changes begin to appear. Temperatures rise faster than usual, climbing several degrees higher than any normal afternoon. City streets shimmer under the intense light. In deserts, the sand becomes scorching hot. The sunlight feels different now. Stronger. Sharper. Two suns blaze overhead, doubling the brightness. Shadows shrink as light pours in from two directions. In some places, they disappear entirely. The sky itself begins to change, fading from blue toward a pale, washed-out white. Astronauts aboard orbiting stations witness an extraordinary sight. Earth moving beneath two burning suns. But beauty quickly gives way to concern. Weather satellites detect rising heat across the planet. Ice, at the poles, begins melting faster than predicted. Glaciers drip under the relentless double sunlight. Wildlife reacts strangely. Birds alter their migration patterns. Nocturnal animals hesitate to emerge as daylight lingers, brighter than ever. And as evening approaches, something truly unsettling happens. Our sun begins to set, but the sky does not grow dark, because the second sun is still high above the horizon. For the first time in human history, night struggles to arrive. Across half the planet, darkness simply refuses to come. The world watches the sky in uneasy silence. Two suns now rule the heavens. The world held its breath, expecting the strange two-sun sky to be a fleeting illusion. But it wasn't. Day after day, two suns rise together. Two blazing stars climb into the sky, flooding the earth with relentless, unending light. Across continents, the effects spread like wildfire. Cities wake hours earlier, darkness retreating faster each day. In some places, the sky never truly becomes night. A pale, constant glow lingers on the horizon as one sun sets and the other remains. Streetlights flicker on, their glow looking weak and insignificant beneath the lingering brightness. People gather on rooftops, watching the bizarre double sunrise. Two fiery disks emerge from opposite ends of the horizon, slowly climbing toward each other. Below, the world is painted with strange patterns. Every object casts to shadows. Trees stretch dark twin silhouettes across the ground. Cars throw two long shadows in different directions. Even people walking through the city move with double outlines, trailing beside them. But this strange beauty quickly gives way to something far more powerful. Heat. With two suns pouring energy onto our planet, temperatures begin to skyrocket. Weather stations report record-breaking heat, with thermometers climbing past numbers never seen before. In deserts, the sand becomes dangerously hot before noon. In cities, asphalt roads soften and shimmer. Glass towers reflect blinding flashes of light across urban skylines. Air conditioners hum constantly, straining power grids to their absolute limit. Out on the oceans, another change begins. Satellite images show vast patches of unnaturally warm water spreading across the seas. The upper layers are heating faster than anyone predicted, causing massive ocean currents to shift. This is where the real power is building. Towering walls of clouds begin to form, fueled by the superheated water. The atmosphere is absorbing an enormous amount of energy. In tropical regions, thunderstorms grow into monstrous giants. Gigantic storm clouds rise like mountains into the sky, with lightning flashing constantly inside their dark towers. Hurricanes form earlier and with more terrifying strength than ever before. From space, they spin like enormous spirals across the glowing oceans. Back on land, rivers are shrinking, lakes recede from their shores. Fields dry out under the intense light, the soil cracking in long, deep lines. Forests are struggling, their leaves curling under the constant heat. Some trees even shed their foliage early, a desperate attempt to conserve water. In the Arctic and Antarctica, the transformation is dramatic. Under the twin suns, the ice is melting at an unprecedented rate. Satellite cameras captured giant glaciers breaking apart, collapsing into the sea with thunderous crashes. Brilliant white ice fields that once reflected sunlight back into space are disappearing, replaced by dark ocean water. And that dark water absorbs even more heat, creating a terrifying feedback loop. Far above, astronauts watch it all unfold. From their vantage point in orbit, Earth glows brighter than it ever has, a dazzling spectacle of light reflected off clouds, oceans, and continents. But they know this beauty hides a growing danger. Around the world, scientists are racing to understand what's happening. Computer simulations fill giant screens, modeling Earth's climate. The explanation becomes chillingly clear. Wheat 2 Suns Earth is receiving far more energy than its systems were ever designed to handle. The delicate balance is breaking. Normally, Earth absorbs sunlight during the day and releases heat during the night. But now, night barely exists. The planet has no time to cool down. Heat builds in the oceans, the atmosphere, and across the land. Each day is hotter than the last. Global wind patterns are shifting, becoming unpredictable. Some regions are trapped under endless, blazing skies, while others are battered by violent storms. Lightning storms ignite devastating wildfires that crawl across entire mountain ranges, blanketing cities in thick, gray haze. And steel. And steel. The 2 suns burn. Brighter. Hotter. Closer. Astronomers studying the second star have discovered something deeply unsettling. Its gravity is interacting with our own sun. The orbits are shifting. Slowly, but noticeably. This means Earth's own orbit may not remain stable. We could drift closer to one of the suns, or worse, be pulled into a chaotic path between them. A new word is entering the scientific briefings. Unstable. If temperatures continue to rise, if the storms continue to strengthen, then the changes we're seeing now are only the beginning. Our planet may soon enter a phase where the environment changes faster than life can adapt. Across the globe, the sky glows brighter each day. Two suns burn overhead. Imagine waking up one day, not to one sun, but two blazing in the sky. It sounds like science fiction, but what would that reality actually look like for Earth? For weeks, the sky would never truly darken. Even at midnight, a strange, eerie twilight would hang over the horizon. Cities that once slept beneath the stars would flicker in a state of endless day. The first, most immediate change: the heat. Each sunrise would push temperatures higher, and each evening would fail to bring any relief. The ground itself would radiate warmth, and the air over our streets would shimmer like moving glass. In the deserts, superheated sand would rise into massive dust storms, turning the sky a burnt orange. Elsewhere, forests would ignite. Gigantic wildfires, sparked by unstable weather, would race across continents, painting them red when viewed from space. The oceans wouldn't be spared, as they were made. Marine life would vanish from the shallows. Coral reefs would bleach into ghostly white skeletons. This superheated water would fuel monstrous storms, hurricanes larger than anything in recorded history, slamming into coastlines with colossal waves and relentless rain. But the most terrifying change would be happening far above us. The gravitational dance between the two suns would become chaotic. Earth's stable orbit, the one we relied on for billions of years, would start to wobble. The second sun's gravity would pull, gently at first, then with increasing force, breaking the delicate balance. Our planet would begin to drift, slowly, closer to the fiery center of this new two-star system. Even a small shift in space changes everything. The heat would intensify to unbearable levels. Life would be forced indoors, into cooled buildings and underground tunnels. The world outside would become hostile, with rocks cracking from the heat and asphalt roads melting in the twin sunlight. The atmosphere itself would thicken with moisture and heat, creating colossal, permanent thunderstorms. From orbit Earth would look a liana world of brilliant white clouds reflecting the blinding light of two suns, its polar ice caps almost completely gone, swallowed by rising, dark oceans. And yet, life is resilient. It would find a way. Plants would evolve, growing broader leaves to reflect the heat. Animals would become nocturnal, active only in the brief, dim hours when both suns dip low. Human civilization would adapt to redesign our cities with reflective materials and harness the almost limitless solar power pouring from the sky. We would survive, but our world would be forever changed. Earth would become a brilliant jewel between two stars, a rare sight in the universe. But this imagined world teaches us something profound. Our planet didn't evolve for this. It flourished under the gentle, stable light of a single sun. This delicate balance of distance, temperature, and gravity is what makes our home so special. It reveals that the conditions for life are incredibly narrow and incredibly fragile. It makes you realize that our single, steady sun isn't just a star in the sky. It's one of the greatest and most precious gifts our planet has ever received. Thanks for watching.